Rev up your engines! Yes, the Acura Integra is back. 2022, they decide to bring a classic back. Honda, or I should say Acura, same company, decided to bring back the Integra as a four-door. Now, it's kind of interesting because the guy originally was going to buy a Civic. He wanted to get a fancy Civic. There weren't any around, but he fell in love with this. And truth be told, under the hood, he got the Civic Si engine. It's the same engine in the Civic Si as they do in the Integra. So, obviously, it's going to perform pretty much the same, too. Opted for the CVT transmission. You want to mess around with the standard, and the funny thing is, believe it or not, he would have had to pay 13 grand more for the standard transmission. They see him as a specialty thing, and I don't blame them. It's a lot of money. It used to be the standard transmissions. You call them manuals. We used to call them standard because that was the standard. You paid extra for an automatic. Now in this case, you'd pay 13 grand more for the standard version, for the manual transmission. So he opted up for that transmission. And it makes sense for him because he wanted a daily driver. A nice four-door makes a lot more sense for a daily driver. He's not going to be shifting any gears, and it's very comfortable inside. Look. It's welcoming us in. Various modes you can put the transmission in. Nice trim. Turn it on. Pretty snazzy little dial action happening there. Hood's open, we know that. I left it open. Nice touch screen to go through all your stuff. Dark roof. Nice contrast. Your phone stuff, everything you need on the steering wheel. A nice small black and silver steering wheel. Very comfortable. Now personally I'm surprised that Acura bought back the Integra because everybody's going for SUV. The world's gone SUV mad. This is a very nice four-door sedan. He got it because he wanted a comfortable vehicle. Accidentally, he wanted a Civic. He's probably much happier with this than he would have been with the Civic. Yeah, you can get the Civics that handle like mad, but they don't ride all that well. This thing rides a lot better. For some reason, they decided to stop making them, and now they're making them again. It's got LEDs. I'm really in love with his paint job though. Man, it just sparkles. It's beautiful. If you know anything about Hondas, they probably make the best motors in the world. They make more internal combustion engines than any other company in the world. They know what they're doing. They're solid made engines. The particular one, as you can see, is 1.5 liters. Honda has been making 1.5 liter engines basically forever. Now it is turbocharged and it puts out 200 horsepower. So you can see it's not overly stressed. There's a lot of engines put out a lot more horsepower than that. Honda decided they wanted the zip, but they didn't want to stress the engine too much. They could have easily bumped it up to whatever they wanted to, 300 horsepower or more. But by keeping it in this range, it actually makes sense. He says he drives it hard. He gets 27 miles a gallon driving it all the time. It's rated at 30, but he's driving it hard. So, you know, 27 to 30 for something that's as much fun to drive as it. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, even though it's still 2022, this is a 2023 model. They just came out with it. He just got the thing. He was waiting quite some time. He ordered it a long time ago, and it came in. So it is a 2023. I like the grille design, too, because they didn't make a big giant scowl like the Lexus. It's broken down into two parts, and the top part is a really nice design, and then the bottom has its own separate design. I like this much better than those giant scowling mouths. I mean, finally, somebody stepped away from the crowd and said, let's make something that looks good. It doesn't look like a giant mouth is ready to eat everything. As far as it stands now, they're not making all-wheel drive. They're just making front-wheel drive. Because let's face the facts. Honda is a front-wheel drive company. They made front-wheel drive for ages. And for most people, you really don't need all-wheel drive. Everybody tries to sell this, oh, you gotta have all-wheel drive. No, you don't. You're gonna get a little better gas mileage with just front-wheel drive. All you gotta do is put snow tires on the front in the winter and it'll be perfectly fine for driving around. Some people get oversold and they think, I gotta have all-wheel drive. You really don't need all-wheel drive. It comes with these stock 18-inch wheels. Now you notice they're relatively low profile and they're very expensive rims. And he lives in Rhode Island, the land of crappy roads. Voted state with the worst roads many years in a row, right? So he did buy the insurance so that if the wheels pop, the tires get bent, he can get them fixed. You remember I had Another guy come over with a car the other day. He bought the same insurance. Guess what? He's already replaced 2 of them. And so that paid for the insurance, and the insurance goes on. In this case, the insurance goes for 5 years. So that's the main worry about low profile tires. If you like the handling that they have, because they do handle quite well, you live in an area with crampy roads, or you're driving just about anywhere in the United States these days, it behooves you to buy the insurance policy. You know, I'm not a fan of insurance policies, but here's the thing. You're buying a policy that replaces the tires and rims if they go bad. They can't talk their way out of it. They sold you a policy that said, you pop the tires, you bent the rims, we replace them. It's not like, well, that's not covered because you didn't put air in the tires or whatever. They have to do it. I have yet to find somebody who bought the insurance, had a tire broken, and they didn't buy the tire for them. So as far as I can tell, those insurance companies are totally legitimate. Unlike the warranty ones with the cars where they sell you a warranty. Oh yeah, and then you bring it in. Well, that's not covered under the warranty. This covers the tires and wheels. So if they do break, yes. You do get low profile tires. You don't mind a little bit rougher ride, but the better handling, make sure you get the insurance. Start it up. Pleasantly quiet. Got a nice large screen so you can really see when you're backing up, which I need in this driveway because it was designed by some knucklehead. You gotta turn all over the place to get out of my driveway. Really's got a nice feel. It's not as aggressive as the Civic, but at the same time, it's fun to drive. It's really a happy medium as far as I'm concerned. If you're gonna drive a car every day, all over the place, if you've ever driven a Civic Type R, you'll know what I'm talking about. A whole lot of fun. It's a screaming race car. But if you're driving 10 hours on a highway, you're gonna wish you had something else. It's got a nice loud ticker, so you know the turn signal's on, and here we go. Well, it's burning rubber. Hey, this thing's fun. And it is a CVT transmission, so, you know, all I have to say is Toyota and Honda know how to make CVT transmissions. You saw everybody else says, I don't like the CVT, it lags, it doesn't take off fast. This thing takes off fast. You heard it burning the tires. Theoretically, it's not supposed to, but hey, that's part of the fun. And of course, I said you can put it in whatever mode you want for whatever driving you want to do. Steering, nice and responsive. And for my wife, she'd think it rides too rough because it's got the low profile tires. Because I did the same thing. I took her on a Toyota TRD and she hated it. Then I took her in a regular Toyota and she loved it. It's the same Camry, only it wasn't a TRD. So, if you like handling, hey, have fun with the low profile tires. If you want smoother ride out, you want to go with normal tires. It is a CVT, but look, when we punch it, it starts going. It's pretty responsive there, especially for a CVT transmission. So here we have it. The Acura Integra is back. Got the same engine as the Civic Si, so you know it's going to be dependable, zippy, fun to drive around. I mean, it's a pretty well-rounded, beautiful package as far as I'm concerned. I'm too cheap to buy a new car. I'll wait until they get aged and then people are tired of it. I'll buy one used, but consider this. He paid $35,000 for this thing. The average new car today is $45,000 in the United States. And this looks and rides a lot better than the average new car as far as I'm concerned. It's got Honda's reliability. I mean, he's driving aggressively and he's still getting 27 miles a gallon. You driving a car that's as zippy as this and drive aggressively, good luck getting better than 27 miles a gallon. Gotta say, it's a well-rounded package. In that price range, you get a Honda, the classic Integra. So all I have to say is, thank goodness, Honda, you didn't jump full force into the SUV world and make everything SUVs, because there are people who like driving a nice sports sedan around. Everybody doesn't want to be seen in an SUV. You're always going to get worse gas mileage in an SUV. That's just how it goes. They're heavy. They're high up in the air. And they cost more and more and more money. Hey, a nice sedan like this, I hope other companies follow suit and start making some nice sedans again. Instead of thinking everybody wants an SUV. Honda makes lots of SUVs. They sell a lot of SUVs too. But I think it's nice that they made the nice sedan at a decent price so you don't have to be like everybody else and be forced to buy their expensive SUV that gets worse gas mileage when, let's face the facts, most Americans watch people driving down the road. There's one or maybe two people in the car. You don't need an SUV to go everywhere. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.